If you're an entrepreneur and you're building your business, this is the most effective way to set up your operation. Hey, we're back. So I've been an entrepreneur for the last 15 years, and there's certain things that I found that really make my life a lot easier. One of them is this simple principle that I apply to the way that I create my operation, the way that I run my operation on a daily basis. And what that is, it's doing less business actually means doing better business and more profits. What I mean by less, it's running a lean, effective, strategic, and simple type of business. Anytime you take an action, anytime you try to create something new with your business, or you're dialing something in, or you're looking at a brand new campaign, or you're looking to bring somebody on, just try to see it from a standpoint where you can embrace these four things. I mean, they really encompass the most effective things about a business. When you're looking at running something that's lean, you're thinking about doing the most with the least amount possible, right? So your output is going to be a focus on creating more results with less overhead, less expenses, less time. And when you're moving into the effective portion of it, and you're thinking about creating an effective business, you're focused in being effective and really raising that bottom line as opposed to just being efficient. You can be very, very efficient at something and not really have that impact on the bottom line, on the revenue, on the culture of the business. So you can be super efficient and not have the results you want because you're not being effective at it. You're not being effective at the business itself, right? Stay away from the things that may seem like they're busy work and focus on being effective and raising that bottom line. Now, you also have to be strategic. Especially nowadays, things are moving very, very fast. So it's hard to have a long-term plan for any type of business. It doesn't matter if you're in the restaurant business, in the fitness industry, in the real estate business, or real estate investment, whatever it is. If you're planning and kind of putting all your eggs in one single basket and planning for longer than 6 months, there's gonna be something that's gonna shift along the way. So it's really, really hard to dial it in that far. Yet you still have to be strategic about things, right? So you have to plan now with due regard to the changing economy and everything that's happening. You have to plan out and figure out where you want to be in 3 months, and not really just react to everything that's happening. You want to be proactive and take those actions and those planned actions as your challenges start coming in. But you want to paint a strategic picture of the type of business that you want to have in a certain amount of time. For example, you can plan it out for 3 months and then be strategic about the actions that you take. That way, when you get hit with something, you're not just being reactive to it. You can actually respond and take action in a strategic way as opposed to just making rash decisions. And then the last part is keeping it simple. This is probably the hardest thing to do in a business. Especially as you start adding processes, as you start adding employees, as you start bringing new concepts in. I mean, just compiling everything and putting everything together from marketing to development to sales to strategy to the processes. I mean, it can become something very, very overwhelming. And you can't run a business if you don't have those specific elements in place. Now, the drawback to it is that also, by the same token, you're not going to run an effective business if you don't keep it simple enough for your team to perform. So keep simplicity in mind when you're coming into something, when you're creating a new process. Is there things that you can combine? Is there processes that you can skip that you don't really need? Is it overhead? Is it overkill? Are you operating? Ask yourself this question. This is a very, very important question, actually. Ask yourself if you're operating under the idea of an old-fashioned type of business. For example, we see a lot of old ways of doing things in the real estate industry, in the legal industry. Even some restaurant businesses still run things the old-fashioned way, where their overhead is not necessarily dialed in, their processes are outdated, and it all falls back into the culture of the business. So you want to keep in mind where you can improve stuff, yet keep it simple, so your people can follow it, have a clearly outlined process with a beginning, a middle, and an end. So make sure that you have a resolution for every process that you take, and clear expectations for each responsibility that your employees take. And that is how you do less business with more profits. If you like it, share the video. drop a comment. If you didn't like it, also drop a comment. I like to have conversations about this kind of stuff. Share it, subscribe, follow, stay tuned, stay focused. You got this.